tell I made that? Guys, hold on. Wait, it's not supposed to keep going. It was supposed to fade out. Okay, let's stop it. It was supposed to be on a hotkey. All right. Happy Halloween, guys. All right, you want it? This is a musical now. Happy Halloween, everybody who joins. It's time to have a spooky little time. All right, seriously. What? I don't know how to end it. Is that it? Right there. It's gone. It's fading out. Okay. Oh, and it still abruptly stops. Hey, guys, happy Halloween. If that's not the scariest thing we face this season, it's battling technology that always wins. It's being bested by, the science movement. But, guys, I'm happy to be here. Nay, I'm a little scared to be here with you guys today. It is not... If it is not the most magical time of year, I don't know what is. Christmas, the most wonderful time of the year. We know that because it's in the song, but Halloween, it's magic and literal spell casting. I'm so glad to be in this season. It's so wonderful. It's so magical and spooky and kooky and just fun, man. It's just, there's an energy, there's a liveliness and an undeadedness, okay? There's just so much good that comes with the season. And it makes it that much more fun to embrace it and just kind of partake in the nonsense. So if you're not doing that, I implore you to enjoy a little bit of that. Go out there, buy some decorations, a candle, a candy, and a costume, man. Become somebody else. Isn't that fun? All year round, we say, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. But on Halloween, we say, be someone different. Anybody, anything. And have a magical time. I, of course, am Marty McFly from Back to the Future 1. Oh, wait a second, Doc. You tell me about the time machine? I have a DeLorean. And I could do the whole scene for you here. 88 miles per hour! And we'd have a ball. But I don't know if we have enough time for me to do not only that scene, but the whole movie. By the way, I forgot something before I started the show, and I ran out to a store. Huge, empty parking lot. And I realized I was like almost cosplaying a scene. I was role-playing. I was like making something happen. So did I? A little bit. I mean, I didn't make anything happen, but I started shouting, and then I ended up looking like the people that you would avoid. So that was cool. But you know what? It's Halloween. I think it's okay to scare people. Tristan Sartoris. It's okay to scare people. So I'm just having a great time, man. I'm in my zone. I'm in my place. I'm in my world. I don't know. This thing is being pretty wonky with me. Now, guys, I did do a test. All right. I want that to be clear. I went through it and I made sure things were working properly, and the thing worked beforehand. Okay. My little intro. And then it didn't on the live taping. Okay. We did a rehearsal, and this wasn't, but that's Halloween. Sometimes scary things happen and we have to enjoy that. Okay. Like what is Halloween anyway, if not scary? No, seriously, what is Halloween? I don't really know. Okay. I mean, you can Google it and you can go to Wikipedia, and I think it means something for everybody, because it's supposed to be like All Hallows Eve, right? Like the remembering of the saints and the dead people and the faithful and even some just people that weren't so great, but he's just like a average, like, hey, do you remember that guy? He didn't do a lot, but you know what? Sure, we remember him. Why not? Like, let's have a little bit of remembrance. Similar to, what is the Spanish? Dias de los Muertos? I don't know. I might be butchering it. But the remembrance of family and everybody, much like the movie Coco, which is phenomenal. Tear a jerker. But it's kind of like that. I believe Halloween. It's supposed to be the remembering of the beautiful people and the love that we cherish. I don't know how it went from very beautiful. We're like, let's remember these good people to now. Remember that guy who stabbed everyone? Never. Remember that guy who got stabbed? We don't celebrate the fallen in Halloween. We celebrate the victorious, no matter how evil. The bad guys, we dress up as them. We go, I love that guy. He didn't lose. But you never see anybody just walking around like, yeah, man, remember that guy? Died. First scene. It's heartbreaking, but we can celebrate. Okay, on Halloween, we can celebrate the victors, no matter how evil, and we can celebrate the fallen, okay, evil or good, and that's a beautifulness. And I think that's Christmas. It's like, this is what we celebrate on Christmas. We know what Christmas is, but with Halloween, there's so much up in the air, right? And you can be murderous. I mean, don't go out and murder people. I'm just saying you can kind of, I don't know what I'm saying, but you can kind of have that, darker era. And some people, it's like, hey, I just want to do a little kookiness. Get maybe a fog machine, a couple like Reese's cups, but they got like a bat on it or something. Like it's got a little bit of just odd, like the bizarre. And that's what Halloween is for a lot of people, okay? And you can also just celebrate the scary things, okay? And just be scared. And sometimes that's not just like a scary movie and scary themes, okay? But sometimes it's like scary real life, okay? Like I've been saying on the podcast for a while, like I think the Halloween scare, one second, something's breaking. We did a test run. I think Halloween is beautiful for celebrating just normal fears, dude. Like we're so in scary movies, we're scared of what? Just, could be spiders or just murderers. We're just scared. And Halloween, there's a certain thematical scariness to it, but real life comes with so many fears, man. I mean, some people are afraid of spiders, and that one does work. But for some people, it's public speaking. I don't want to get out there and talk in front of people. And that's scary, man. Like if you put those public speaking decorations in your front yard, people, they wouldn't even trick or treat. They keep on walking, Maybe it's high tax rates. Some things are weird. Sometimes it's telling your friends, you're like, hey, yeah, I would love to hang out with you 2 weeks from now. By the time 2 weeks rolls around, you're not in the same mindset that you were 2 weeks ago. So you don't really want to go out, but you already committed to it. And that commitment, but now you're comfy and now you're held to something. And that's scary for people, like having obligations. Oh, social requirements. It sucks. That's scary for people. And sometimes that's your Halloween, dude. So what is Halloween? We don't really know, but we enjoy it. Nevertheless, we do have a fun time and we try to celebrate as best as we can. This thing's still a bit weird, but that's okay. It's scaring me, right? What's my biggest fear? Failing. and I embrace it, man. I come at it head on. And some people say I never fix it. And yeah, that's true. No rebuttal, but I'm scared of it regardless. Okay. Maybe you're scared of being stuck in a box. Maybe you're claustrophobic and so you haven't fixed that. Well, it's still there. And I keep getting in the box. It's like I'm claustrophobic, but I keep getting in the box. Like, just stop doing that. I'm like, I don't know how. I'm addicted. So, guys, welcome back to the Sanctuary of Scare. We have so much fun here, and it's always such a blast to go all in. Like, look at all the candy, dude. The amount of money that went into the candy alone. Okay, it's not just the Sanctuary of Scare anymore. It's the doom of diabetes. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, right? We have Francois, of course, the French party master himself. There's a few characters that are missing. We do have Otis, the evil overguard, for the fourth time in a row. Okay, I don't know how long it's been or how many of these we have done, but they keep showing up because it's their season. Like, normally if I bring this guy out, can you see him? Yeah, you can. If I bring that guy out, people go, oh, that's stupid. It's a pumpkin and with some foam sticking out. But you bring it out now, people go, okay, I get it. Fine. And that's enough for Otis. Okay. His standards aren't high. He doesn't need to be loved. He doesn't need to be appreciated. He just longs to be tolerated. Isn't that what some of us want? We don't need fondness. We just long to be tolerated. Oh, what a beautiful sentiment. Guys, for Valentine's Day, get a I tolerate you card. I think that's a beautiful thing too. And I think it can be. But we're not there right now. We're not in the mood for love, okay? We're in the mood for fear and scare. So we got Otis. We've got Francois. We've got Jigglebot, McBones. The camera's so wide than it's been before, like our set and our look at that, full range of motion. It's more than we've ever had before, so I keep forgetting that you can just see stuff and I don't have to, can you freaking, if I go this way and that way? So there's lots of pieces and puzzles. I didn't name these pumpkins. We got a few. We got a lot. There's lots of stuff to look at, okay? And you can name them if you want, but I'm tired of having Halloween children, okay? I've got my 3. Those are my dogs. And everything else that comes after that is, it's just a bonus. It's just a bonus. So did we spend more money than we would like on this? Of course, man. Absolutely. That's part of the game. Like, you might be looking at the set and saying, hey, Tristan, did you go over your Halloween budget? If it looks like I did, it's because I did, all right? I spent way more money than I needed to. Again, lots on the candy, lots and everything that goes into it, and I'm gonna return it all. I don't care, all right? That's how I move. I wave through life with, it's hustle culture, baby. You gots to be returning. And I know technically this video could doom me, you know? If ever by some stroke of inconvenience, somebody was like, hey, I know the podcast you do. And then I saw that one on Halloween, and what's in this is something else. I don't know. You saw the Halloween, but hopefully, if you are out there, and I'm in front of you right now, okay, and I want you to remember this: if I'm ever returning decorations into your store and your establishment, I want you, okay, and I don't want to say be deceitful or lie, but look the other way, okay? I bought all this stuff with no intention of keeping it. There was never it was too big, it was too small, it wasn't bright enough, I had something else going on. I'm doing it to get rid of it, and I'm gonna get my money back, okay? And that's how it works, man. That's how it goes. The candy I'm really thrilled on. I've been holding back, and I want you guys to understand the kind of patience that I have used to not impulsively eat. Like, it's a lot of candy, man. Okay, it is. And not only that, but I I didn't know that they have a early trick-or-treating where I live. So apparently I missed the boat. So now I can't even give this out to the trick-or-treaters. I'm going to have to eat all this. Shame. Fat shame. Literally. Fat shame. And you can fat shame me. But it was a rough look, man. And granted, I saw that they started trick-or-treating, and I was like, oh no, but I have my candy, and I just didn't give it out. But I thought it was too late, and I just, I hesitated. I don't hesitate often, but the one time when I do, it's it does not benefit the children. It only helps me, and I'm sorry about that, guys. I really am. So I hope you guys are stoked to be here and, having fun with me, because I'm having fun. There's so much. I will say it was difficult to just try and do these little tests and these setups, because you're constantly trying to maneuver through all this stuff. I need an intern, man. I really do, because internships are beautiful. There's no pay, If anybody out there would like to just sit behind the camera and listen in and go like, I guess that sounds right. Like, that's what I need, okay? It's not a lot of work, but if you want to, I can give you more work. And eventually, we can move you up to a full-time position, all right? Now, the payment, it's not guaranteed, but it's all guaranteed fun. And it's more of like a, we make money when, the show makes money kind of thing, right? And by that, I mean, like, when we make money, I make money, and it's solo thing. I'm not proud to be arrogant, but it's the way that I was built. This is more fall themed and less Halloween themed, so we gotta get that out of it. Don't worry, there's a trash can over there. I mean, I missed it completely, but it is over there. So I don't know if I want to keep the sunglasses on my forehead, but it feels I don't know, it feels Marty McFly-ish as long as the lights and everything's not reflecting too hard. So guys, what is going on in the world outside of whatever you're doing right now, And I don't know what you're doing right now. I like to imagine you're trick-or-treating for some reason. And again, that's probably the arrogance. I'm like, hey, they're having some nice family bonding and people are really embracing their festive. I hope I'm included in that. I hope they're bringing me along in their world. And if that's true, get more candy, or ding dong. It'd be fun to ding dong ditch people on Halloween, because they're gonna come to the door, and I think that's a pro move for real. Like, if you ding, like, they're like, hey, and they're just gone. But you do have so many more people you can blame it on. I'm gonna have to try this. Gosh dang it, that's a good idea. Hey, by the way, if you guys are listening to this while you're trick or treating, ding dong ditch some people, and then go back and get your candy still. It's beautiful, man. Halloween's full of fun. So speaking of scary things, man, let's we still got a show to do, right? We're very, everything we're going to talk about is very Halloween themed, but we gotta have some fun here. But by that I mean we got to talk about something sad first, dude. The scariest thing in life, I think, across all the ghouls and goblins that some people think they're scared of, but they're not. They're scared of losing, right? Failing. And that's what it feels like to be a Cleveland sports fan. It's so hard, dude. So the Cleveland Guardians baseball team, they were so close. They were trying to get it done. And by that, I mean they weren't close at all, but it felt like they were, like there was enough fight. But, evil prevailed, and how spooky is that, right? So the Cleveland Guardians, they lost, man. And it's so hard to be invested as a fan because when you ride the highs, like I do, like when I'm in it, I'm jumping and I'm breaking ceilings, literally. And I got in trouble one time because I was breaking the ceiling. And apparently you can't just raise the roof. It just dents and it breaks. But, when you have that kind of excitement and hype and energy, you can't have one side without that one. And being a Cleveland fan, there's only so much of this, and it's a lot more of this. But you have to live in that. That way you can experience some of that. So I'm really just living in the pain and the sad, and its resistance is futile. I would love to get out of it, man. I try and tell myself every single day, be better, be different. It's Halloween. Let me just go as a different sports fan. But even when I dress up for the season, deep down, Marty McFly is still a Cleveland sports fan, and how sad and how scary. I did see something, dude, speaking of failing, I saw it was a little video where this guy had gotten drunk, right? And there was some sort of brawl, and the guy had to subdue him by he grappled him, and he puts him in a full Nelson. And actually, you know what? I didn't do this in my test run, but I think we can watch this together. I'm going to pull it up. And if we can't watch it together, then I'm going to watch it, and you can watch me watching it. But let's try and watch it together here. This guy, so he just tries to stop him. And the guy's not worried about that he's being arrested or anything like that. It's that he was embarrassed. And that's the scariest thing of all, man. Embarrassment. How embarrassing is it to be embarrassed, really? So let's try and see if we can watch this. Guys, we're on the cutting edge of cutting edges, and we're going to try and innovate a little bit here. But again, I'm scared of failure, so let's see if this works.
He walked up to, I'm just using
trying to, but he wanted to. He actually made and then I was able to restrain him and subdue him on the ground with a
was never in a full Nelson.
This is the guy right here, dude.
Okay.
Was never in a
For sake of conversation, he said that.
For the sake of
full
conversation.
Nelson never happened.
Okay,
so
then it didn't
obviously
happen.
you're believing shit didn't happen. This motherfucker is a fucking liar. He never had me in a full Nelson.
It
doesn't matter at this point.
Here's the thing.
This motherfucker never had me at a full Nelson.
Oh my gosh, dude. I saw that earlier, and I was crying laughing. He's being arrested. I don't know if he's going to jail. We don't know what he did. There's not a lot of context to the video, but imagine the guy's like, hey, dude, you're going to go to jail. It doesn't matter. Nobody will say I was put in a full Nelson. And, I've been in a full Nelson. It is embarrassing and it's hard. However, I've always said it was kind of like the one time you get hugged as a brother, and that was nice. But I think it's so funny, dude, to be embarrassed of that more than anything. Like, you're causing a ruckus. People are like, you're loud. We don't like you. We don't like you as a person. And that's not the thing that affects him to the soul. Someone's just like, I put him in a full Nelson. Hey, like he's never been sharper in his life. However drunk he was, it went out the window. This is him crystal clear. People think this is the intoxication. This is the guy coming to, and he's like, I will not let my reputation go down the drain and be known as a guy who was put in a full Nelson. I think that's so great. But I gotta go back. That was more funny and less scary. But let me try and remember how terrifying it is to be a part of that and to be embarrassed, man. And so my chair's rolling. So oh my gosh, dude. Oh, if you thought being a full Nelson was embarrassing, this is tough. So yeah, I mean, how awful, dude. How poor. Not sad. We want to remember how scary that is, okay? Imagine, dude. Ooh, dude, I'm going to get a full Nelson Halloween decoration. Oh, that's so great. All right, maybe it's just funny and it's not scary, but I wanted to show you that to you because I saw it like while I was setting up, and I couldn't get over it. So anyways, all right. Ooh. What's scary? What is scary about life more than a full Nelson? You know what? Life is scary to a lot of people. Life is, well, it's hard, but I think hardness is scary. Okay, life is scary. And it's, you know, not a lot of people understand life, okay? And I think once you understand how scary life is, it helps you move through the seasons. Much like Halloween, it comes in waves and it comes in seasons. It's okay. You're like, oh, Halloween's your time to be scared, and I'm okay with that. But if you're aware of how scary life is, if you're aware of the hurdles that come, you can prepare for them as such. Like one that I've recently I've recently been getting really good at coming to grips with the fact that I will just never be able to unsubscribe from all the emails. Okay, you think life's hard and life's scary in general. Life is a series of being subscribed to an email list that you want no part of being a part of. Okay, just because one time when you're 14, you think you're going through a V-neck phase, but you don't fit them because your shoulders are too broad. So you buy a lot of them. You go on American Eagle and you sign up and you get this little 15% discount off. And then it comes and surely you don't want to be a part of, but you're having a phase and it doesn't go well. And then you keep trying to subscribe, but they keep sending you more. This is all hypothetical, of course. But that's what life is about, man. It's about trying to break free from some things like that. And that's scary. And you have to come to grips with that fear. You have to come to the grips. Come to the grips, guys. Come to grips. Come to realize that some things are just scary and there's nothing about that. But that's where bravery and courage comes in. Oh my gosh, he's poetic. That was not where I was going at all. I was going to say it's okay to be scared, but I've turned that around. And I'll say that once you face fear, you are automatically brave. Doesn't mean you win. Okay. By the way, I want this to be noted. Being brave or courageous does not mean you win. The Cleveland Guardians were brave when they faced the Yankees. Did they win? No. Okay. Was I brave enough when I signed on? I mean, somebody signed on to these American Eagle email list chain thing. Okay. And they thought they could get away with it? No. You know, they were brave, but did it work? No. So I implore you to be brave, but don't expect to win. Ooh, it was poetic for a minute and then it got sad. I'm sorry about that. So, guys, let's go back to scary, all right? And there is some scary stuff in the news. You guys like scary stuff? You want to read a little bit of a Halloween treat here? So I saw this, man. There apparently is a fortune teller, right, out in, I didn't see the country. I didn't get it. Let's say Yemen, right? So this blind woman in Yemen, she's a fortune teller. Okay, and she sees all. I see the irony. Look, her name is Baba Yanga. So Baba Yanga predicted that there was going to be a 2025 apocalypse, which was, woo, scary. But that is not what's scary about that. What's scary was that I didn't know how to pronounce her name. The apocalypse, I didn't care. What does she know? She's blind. But I was reading that, and I was like, I don't know how to pronounce her name. And that's a scary feeling. You ever go to somebody or say something and you're like, I don't know how to read. Whoa, isn't that terrifying? Who gives a crap about the apocalypse? My apocalypse is if somebody showed me a bunch of words I've never seen before and I had to read them in front of a class. Dude, Baba Yanga or Yunga or Yun, I don't know, okay? She's predicting stuff, but I was so scared of saying that. I think I've mentioned this before, I don't know, but I had never seen the word Poughkeepsie, New York, on paper before, and I was reading in theater class, on the fly, on the live, and my brain just goes, yeah, he's down in Poughkeepsie, and I went, oh my gosh, that's not what it is, but I'd never seen the word, and the crowd erupts with laughter. Poughkeepsie? In fact, the lady I was improvising with turned her character into that. Her character became pretty douchey all of a sudden, and she's like, I was acting, but her character just starts making fun of my character, who apparently can't read now, and I was like, gosh, this sucks so hard, and I haven't let go of that, man, and I hate pronouncing things wrong, so that's scary, and we're going to embrace that. But after Halloween, I want to embrace being wrong about names. I think that's beautiful, man. I feel like you should be able to just misread things, you know? They're my letters. Let me do what I want with them, okay? They're organized right. Sometimes you say them a bit differently. Tomato, tomato. What happened to that? Now, all of a sudden, if it's James or James, I'm in the wrong. Or if it's Poughkeepsie, the letters were there, okay? You can see how it could work. But apparently I'm the dweeb. I think it should be just fine. It should be fine to mispronounce names. I know that's a big thing. Is people go, oh, it's because you're not cultured or you're not paying attention to my culture, especially if it's not, like a more common name. And people go, wow, how disrespectful to call someone this or that or not get it right. I think if you know what it is, if someone's like, hey, my name's Marilyn, and you go, I don't know how you say Marilyn wrong. Marilyn. It's Marilyn. And they go, that's not it. But if you kept doing that, one, we'd think you were kind of silly. But I guess that could be disrespectful. But I think if you're just taking a guess, I think you should be allowed to be wrong, dude. I miss being wrong with guesses. Guesses are so much fun. And now you can't guess, and you especially can't be wrong, but it's so much fun to guess. And this is somebody whose name gets mixed up all the time. Tristan, and people just spell it wrong too. People that I know lifelong. My sister-in-law does it, okay? My aunts and uncles do it, okay? They do INs and ENs. They spell my name wrong. Somebody recently, I was giving my email address to, and then he was filing into his contact, and he was like, okay, that's Tristan Sartoris, all right, Tristan, all right, yep, that's right. And then I get an email from him. And it says, hi, Tristan, with an E. He asked me how to spell it, and then he wrote it down. This is more on the verge of disrespectful, but even then, dude, to have my name wrong, I'm okay with it. It was scary, and I got over that. And that was brave and a win for me, but not really, I guess, because he straight up freaking, bested me, and I just took it on the chin. So maybe I didn't win. I don't know, okay? It's my fault for having such a cool name. Or an uncool name. I don't know. Are there any cool names? Are there any real cool names? Think of a cool name. And I want to, when I say cool name, what do you think of? I'm just curious. Daryl. Daryl's pretty cool. Darren's pretty cool. Darius. I think it's just because Dare is in the front of it. That's why it's coming to my brain. Like, dang, that guy, he takes on dares, like Truth or Dare. There's not a lot of names that start with Truth. Because no one, that's a weak sauce move. Someone's like Truth or Dare, and you go Truth. But if someone goes, my name's Darius, and I take dares only, that's a daring guy. I think Darian's cool, but but I don't know what a weak name would be. I mean, are there any objectively bad names? I don't know. Like Phil, maybe. That was rude. I have an Uncle Phil. I'm sorry. Hey, Uncle Phil, if you're watching this, I didn't mean that. But if you aren't, then I'm sorry. I did mean it. Okay. So it's a little catch-22 for you. And, hey, that's life. Sorry about that. I didn't mean it to any other Phils though, either. Unless there's 0 Phils watching it, then it was just a thought. Okay. You know what? And I'm scared of the fact that I'm hurting. I don't want to make fun of anybody, but also I meant it. So I got to be honest and I got to own that fact. But I don't think Phil is a bad name. I think all names, I think it depends on the person. I think you can stereotype a name, though, like Karen. What about Karen, dude? Karen out of nowhere is like an awful name for everybody in anything. They go, oh, Karen, ew, gross, Karen. Like, there was plenty of nice Karens before, and their name was good, and then it became bad. Like, wouldn't it suck if your name, whatever it may be, Tristan, could be super cool, and then people are like, oh, by the way, if you're an annoying, immature man-child, we call you Tristan now. And I go, oh, been doing that for years. But, people just, there's a negative connotation with the name now. That would suck. It sucks to be a Karen. There was plenty of cool Karens. I know Karens, man. What about the computer from SpongeBob? Her name was Karen, okay? And she was super cool. I mean, I'm she wasn't awesome, but she was medium cool. But you know what? She was enough for Plankton. Plankton was in love with her. I wasn't. That's coming soon, man. People are going to be in love with computers. And I don't know what you call that, dude. What's your sexuality, I guess, if you're in love with a computer, man? Don't say gay eye. Don't say gay eye. I don't know what it would be. But Karen is not a bad name was the point of that story, guys. Okay, so I hope we cleared that up. I'm having a lot of fun, man. I am having a lot of fun. By the way, it is midnight right now, and there was no reason for me to record this at midnight. In my head, I was like, I should do it at nighttime because it'll be spooky, but there's no light coming in regardless, and I turned on lights. But you know what? That's in my head. I did my own thing. Oh man. So this is another failure. All right. By my intern. Okay. Somebody on the production side of things kind of messed up here. So we were supposed to have ghost stories going into this show. And, you know, I put the message out, granted a little bit late. Okay. I put it out only 4 days before I'm recording this. And I had some people say like, oh yeah, I'm going to try and write something and I'll get it done. And that was nice. I had some people write in, and it was my fault that I was like, maybe you guys just have any bad stories. And then they just kind of like opened up and confided. And then it, you know, I just wanted to make sure I was helping people work through some stuff. So we didn't get any ghost stories. And on top of that, not only was I late to put the word out, I'm also recording this earlier than I normally do. So bit of a fail, right? Like I was just trying to set up, and then I got very festive, and we did the trial run, and I was like, we're going to record. We're going to get spooky. So there are no ghost stories. If they do come through later, you know, why not? We can read a November ghost story. There's no problem with that. I think it's okay to talk about the ghost in November. It's fine to remember the dead and the fallen regardless. However, the reason that we do the ghost story special thing is because I'm a skeptic. I'm an open-minded skeptic, and I look forward to be proven wrong. And in the 4 days, you know what? There was enough time for somebody to say, I've got a ghost story. And if you don't have one, that just means I believe a little bit less. So for the ghost believers out there, if you missed your chance, that's your fault. And now the spirit, you know, like an elf, when they got like the little believometer thing where like how many people believe in Christmas. Now the little ticker, the ghost, sorry, Francois, it's going down a little bit more, and ghosts lost a little bit more power this Halloween. That's in your face. But I don't have any ghost stories. I can tell you a recent scary story for me, though. Okay. And this happened last night, actually. So I had been up for 40 plus hours straight. It's a long story. We'll get into that another time. But I was so sleep deprived, and I was driving. Okay. At a long 5-hour drive somewhere, 5-hour drive back. Hadn't slept. And it's dark out, and I'm alone on the road, and I'm listening to a scary podcast, okay, because it's festive, and I enjoy the festivities, you know. So they start talking about this story on the podcast, and they're telling the story about a creature named the Rake. And the Rake was basically this man-made beaten dog thing, you know, like it looked like a man and a cow and a dog, like it was like just a creature, and it was naked and violent. And this couple was laying in bed, and immediately they wake up, and it's at the foot of its bed, and they see it. They try to turn the light on. It runs out, and it harms their child, and then it runs away. So the couple gets their daughter. They go back, and they try to chase after the guy, but then accidentally drive into a river or something like that. Okay, there's a long story. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is I don't believe in ghosts or creatures or anything like monsterly like that, but this is a true story for me. It was just scary because I was having like hallucinations almost, man. Okay, because it was so late and it was so dark and I was so alone. I was so alone, man. I like the phrase in there. I was driving alone, and I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in the power of like negative energy and negative speaking, you know, like there's some sort of like, you know, you're kind of opening up the devil's playground there. And I don't get scared ever, man, but I turned the freaking thing off. Okay. And that's why I don't have all the details of the story, and it doesn't really matter. The point is I was like seeing it run across the road. I'm like, holy freaking, like I felt something. And then I just got scared that I was just like open up some sort of weird negativity. I was going to crash. And I got scared, dude. I got scared of hearing a story. And I don't know if that's like that qualifies as our, you know, great ghost story, but I haven't been scared, man. I don't get scared. I got scared, right? I got scared, that not necessarily from the cow thing, but that you don't know, you know, things are scary. You ever feel like you're going to die for some reason? That's scary. I also got cut off by a semi at one point, and I was in Indianapolis, and their roads freaking suck, dude. It's like 90 mile an hour speed bumps. Go, boom, boom, boom. You're just jumping the whole way. So I'm flying down this lane. Sorry, I know we just kind of left the scary story, but this one gets pretty spooky. So I'm driving, and all of a sudden, there's a huge crash, and the semi, he acts like he's on a bicycle, and he just weave lanes. He cuts right in front of me. And I slam on the brakes. Slide almost all the way up to this guy. I could have died, but I didn't, okay, because the Lord's on my side. And screw the monsters. Sorry about that. If you're a monster, hey, there's always next year. I don't know. So, guys, what else did we see in the news, man? What kind of other Halloween things can we talk about? What kind of fun can we do here? I did see a Halloween. So this is a recent trend, and I missed this, okay, because I just stopped trick-or-treating at 25. I saw a headline, and it was talking about trunk or treat. And if you don't know what trunk or treat is, I guess now people don't like to go door to door, and they don't like to go throughout the neighborhood. Instead, they collect a group of people. People sign up, and they bring their cars, and it's full of candy, and we just go to a parking lot. And you just kind of walk in a little circle, and you grab candy out of the trunks, which is interesting. You know, it's not really as festive or adventurous as to like go throughout, you know, your dark neighborhood, and you walk with your family and you see all these new people and you have fun. You bump into someone and you go, hey, you know, I remember you. And they go, I don't. You go, that sucks. That was embarrassing. You know, but like there's like a certain spirit of trick-or-treating that you have. And I was like, the trunk-or-treating, you know, that sounds lame. Okay, but you know, whatever. People are going to do them. But I come across this headline, and it says that trunk-or-treating is supremely dangerous, okay? They were talking about how there's like a false sense of safety because people get, you know, so, you know, you got to be careful when you're walking out throughout the streets in the dark, right? But there's like a false sense of safety because you're like in this parking lot, and I guess people tend to let their kids roam a little bit more. And I guess there have been some abductions. And people have gotten into cars. And I mean, on paper, I guess, I didn't think about it. You were literally inviting your kids to go take candy from strangers out of their van. So I had no idea about this trunk or treat, but if you're going to one, make sure you keep a close eye on people, okay? I always said that don't let your kids get kidnapped. That's something I've always said. No, I've always said, be careful. You know, people look for like easy and lazy ways to parent their kids, like putting them on a leash, and they go, oh, this is so easy, man. And they just let it fly away. But don't get lazy. We're like, I don't want to walk around the neighborhood. I'm going to sit in the parking lot and talk to my friend and let the kid just kind of walk around here. There's a weird thing where when you try to cheap out, you know, life cheaps out on you. So if you're going to do a trunk or treat, I'd say just be careful. And you wouldn't believe it that trunk or treating is both stupid and dangerous. There was more to the article. It was really the writer. She was just really pissed, and she was really going in at him. I can't remember. It was less like something for everybody to know, but she was like, "This is stupid. It's ruined everything I've ever loved," and I felt bad, but. I would like to let her know if she's listening that you don't have to go to him. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. And I'm glad to see that I haven't heard anybody talking about razor blades this season. Isn't that great? You know, every single season, it's always make sure you check your kids' candy. And this has been a long-standing debate for me. And I know it sounds bad, okay, but I would love to find a razor blade in my candy one day, okay, because it's just like seeing isn't believing, but this is, you know, like I refuse to believe that anyone has ever put a blade in a candy, man. Like, how do you even get it in there? And how do you not notice? And what is the rap job? And I know you guys are like, well, they're kids. Maybe they don't see it. Maybe they don't notice. But, like, I don't know. Even I can picture being a kid. And I can picture being ignorant because I still am. And if I saw that, I'm like, there's a blade in here. You know, like, I don't know what the feeling is. I've always said if they can pull that off, then honestly, they deserved it. Like, that's a quality, scary trick to play. Like, if you were able to reseal it and you put a blade in there, that's impressive. I would like to see it happen. And I think really the only way you could do that would be like with a king-size candy bar, all right? And even then, if you're giving out king-size bars, be a little suspicious. Like if you live in a weird or creepy neighborhood and the guys are like, here's some king-size candy bars, you're like, we're going to check those, okay? But ideally, if they're giving out king-size candy bars, you live in a rich neighborhood, and rich people are famously, I don't know, are they dangerous? I don't know. I've never lived in a rich neighborhood, but I have to assume that they just have their butler give out candy. I don't know. There shouldn't be any razor blades. Point is, you should be safe. Steer clear of king-size candy bars. You know who the safest people on Halloween is? People who like candy corn. You know, you're not fitting a blade in that. People who like candy corn, they're so safe. Anyone who likes reject candy, like the small, tiny little anything, they're like, yeah, this is my favorite. Those guys, like people who want to hurt children, are pissed about these guys. Like, do you have any candy corn? Like, I have so many. He's got like so many bars filled with knives and stuff like that, and these people just want candy corns. Oh, poor guy. Speaking of which, what is your favorite candy? I'm always interested to hear that from people, because everyone has a different opinion and they're always wrong, because it's not Reese's Take 5. And yes, I said Reese's, okay? Like I've always mentioned, I've always said this mostly just now, that you're giving me the letters. I can do what I want with them, all right? People yell at me, it's not Reese's. Yes, it is, all right? You gave me the word to say, and this is how I said it. It's like a spelling bee. There should be a pronunciation bee, you know? I would lose it, but I would go out in a flame of glory. In a flame of glory. Yeah, I'm always curious what people's favorite candy bars are, because I think Reese's Take 5 is its ultimate. You got chocolate, you got peanut butter, you got caramel, you got pretzel. Okay, there's a combination of salty and sweet and crunch and texture. It's like gourmet. Okay, it's like if Gordon Ramsay made a candy bar, and it's beautiful, it's majestic, and there's not enough I could say about it. We don't have enough time to really get into it, but I think that's the most beautiful one. But I was going to buy all this candy. I saw these people, they were really like identifying the bag, and there's 180 pieces in these huge like $25 bags, and they're like looking at them like, oh yeah, there's not enough Hershey Kisses to Babe Ruths to Butterfingers in this bag, and they were being very particular, and I didn't know if that was because they were going to give it out and they wanted to make sure they either wanted to give out bad candy or good candy. But it just made me really think about how individual people's tastes are and how wrong they could be. But also, if you guys have a favorite candy bar that's unique or interesting or half right, I would like to know, because I don't know if you can get better than a Reese's, but I'm always interested. Does anyone like a Baby Ruth? Does anyone like a Crunch Bar? I mean, like, yeah, all candy's good. Okay, not all candy's created equal, but all candy's good. It's kind of like, hey, you know, all people are created equal. Not necessarily, but all people are good. You know, I'm not fast enough to be in the NFL. That is not fair. We are not created equal in that sense, but I'm still a good person, kind of. So there is some good candy out there. I'm just curious if we would like to partake in that. Guys, I have no idea how long we've been going, and we've tried some new innovative things. I think that's kind of all I want to talk about this Halloween. I was expecting to have more ghost stories, and I know I was in complete control of waiting to have more ghost stories, but we don't. And I'm just, you know what? It's Halloween, man. I took a scary leap, all right? And none had come in 4 days. So if there's more, we'll find one and read them next week, okay? It's a fun little November thing, November treat. But I hope you guys are having a merry, happy Halloween. I assume you're still trick-or-treating or trunk-or-treating right now, and you're bringing me along with you. And you know, as scary as the season is, remember to be bold, remember to be brave, face your fears, whatever it is. You know, it might be some sort of governmental thing, and I know that season's coming around, or it might be, you know, actually like putting effort into raising your children and taking them trick-or-treating. I know that's like, I don't want to do it, I want to sit in my car and trunk or treat. You know, sometimes you have to face your fears. It's not always going to work out, okay? Sometimes your kids are gone, but you got to be brave, all right? You got to be brave. We don't always win in life, and that's okay. We're back to poetic, and I'm just I'm thrilled to always have fun and do these spooky, silly Halloween episodes, man. Also, real quick, this isn't spooky at all, but I want to say there's a lot of people in my life who listen to this podcast that I had no idea do, you know? And people I wouldn't expect, for sure, like family and friends of the family, that I'm like, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of listeners regardless, but the people that do, for some reason, have stumbled upon this and they go, yo, he's just the right annoying. or something like that. But people in my life, they get such a full dose of me going, ah, and they go, whoa, less of that. But then to know, like my brothers are a huge one, man. Like sometimes my brother Nick, he'll just quote the podcast. I'm like, what the heck, dude? It's crazy. And I know it's not Thanksgiving, but just want to say very grateful to anybody who listens, and not specifically people in my life that do. I'm not saying like all listeners are created equal, kind of, but some are better than others. I'm kidding. But I'm more grateful. No, that's not true. Hold on, guys. I really appreciate everyone listens. And the people in my life, I guess if you're in my life, I could just tell you thank you, but I'm saying it right now. And if you're listening to it, a little bit of a catch-22. If you're not listening, hey, I don't appreciate you. But if you are, thanks again. Always love you guys. So that's it, guys. That is Happy Halloween. I did try and say that to another person, by the way, and they gave me no response. They looked the other way, and I quit, man. And I was like, I'm about to put this lady in a full Nelson, and she's not going to believe it. She's going to be in disbelief. Okay? So get spooky, get scary. Maybe that's silly and fun, or maybe that's murderous. Not like murdering people. Again, I'm just saying, like, if you want to, I don't know, if you want to get dark, scary, I guess do that. Celebrate how you see fit and just celebrate it, okay? And you need to care about Halloween. That's what's important. And I don't think enough people are caring about Halloween. They let it pass. They treat it like Thanksgiving, okay? It's you can't spell scare without care. Guys, I don't know how we got so poetic here at the end, but I hope I connected somewhere deep inside with you, and you go, you know what? Yeah, no more trunk or treating for me. We're going all in, and we're going to have ourselves a festive time. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you dared to. I feel like when I get too happy, I feel like just a child who got taken out to go trick-or-treating because his parents cared, and I'm just overwhelmed in the festive and the magic that I created. How beautiful is that, man? I created my own magic, and then I lived it, and I loved it, and I said, thank you, Tristan, you did a good job. Dapped myself up, and my boys keep it locked. So, guys, thank you to all our festive and spooky friends. I'm returning this, by the way, again, if anyone is ever listening to this, I'm returning it. Take me at face value, and by that I mean the full value of the price that I paid for this. Do not hit me with that little, it was on sale recently, so we can give you about 70% of what you paid. That's not happening, Jack. Full value. All right? So, guys, thank you so much. Happy Halloween. Be festive. Get scary. Get carry. And enjoy whatever magic you can make or see in your life. I think that's it. That's about as poetic and happy and as scary and as fun as I can be. I love you. I will see you next episode. Wish me luck. I'm gonna return it. All right. Woo! I got to mow the line. He's got a sword. Can you tell I made that? Guys, hold on. Wait, it's not supposed to keep going. It was supposed to fade out.